What is up, backyard gardeners? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are focusing on a very exciting thing for the garden: tomatoes. Yeah, everybody loves tomatoes, especially the three types that we're growing today. One is going to be the Roma tomato, the classic Roma, which is amazing, making some homemade tomato sauce over some pasta, or you could even use it in like a salsa that you use for a taco. The second one's called Ramapo, which is amazing. Eat that on like a roast beef, ham, and provolone sub sandwich. Oh. And the third one is called the Hosinator from Hoss Tools, which is big, fat, juicy tomatoes that everybody's always like, oh my gosh, give me one of those. And we're going to be throwing that on like a bacon cheeseburger. So I can't wait to get these in the ground so we can start benefiting from the harvest. So let's get in there and let's grow. All right, so we're gonna start transplanting some of our tomatoes. This is our in-ground tomato plot here, part of our in-ground garden area. If you notice, there's a set of poles, one here, there, and then there's another three behind them. I'm going to use that as a Florida weave trellis system. It's going to be different from when we did the cherry tomatoes. Oh, look at that. Little bird in the bird bath. I love seeing that. Anyway, I guess that would be like a squirrel moment. We're going to be planting some Roma tomatoes. We're going to be doing some Rutgers tomatoes. We're going to be doing some Hoss tomatoes from Hoss Tools. They're called Hosinators. They're amazing. And I also have one Ramapo tomato. I have two really, so we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to do the Florida weave system that goes across here, and let's start transplanting. I'll show you how to basically get them in the ground and fertilize them and everything. Okay, so basically I have between pole to pole, I have 6 foot. So obviously half of 6 foot would be 3 foot, and then 1.5 foot. So I'm going to start my one plant here. And I do have right here an emitter on the drip line. I could move this, so I'm not really making it right up to the line. I'm more so going to make it in line with where the trellis is going here. So I want to start my hole basically right here, and I'm going to dig it pretty deep. Get some of these nice leaves. I use it as like a mulch, just to control weeds and also to control, ooh, that's a good sign. Nice big worm in here. That's a good sign. So I'm going to dig this hole pretty big because I'm going to kind of set it down a little bit deeper. I don't want to go too deep, but I set it a little deeper because that's where it gets a lot of good water down there. So I'm going to kind of set it down. So I actually going to take off this one branch right here. I'm going to set it down pretty deep. Because what happens is when you set it a little deeper, on this plant, you'll see a lot of fuzzies, and all those fuzzies are basically future roots. The roots this could take root all the way up. That's the characteristic of a tomato plant. So I'm going to use the same, oops, almost dropped it, the same fertilizer as I used with the cherry tomatoes, the 573. If you want to understand a little bit more about fertilizer, if you want to just reference the one video I did with the cherry tomatoes, I'm just going to use my hand and the stinky poop smell, put some of that right into the ground. All right, and then also the mycorrhizal inoculant, which is a fungus. It really helps the roots, this root system in here, just really adapt into the ground, and just helps a nice culture under the ground for a good root system. There's a lot of things that we don't understand, but it's amazing though how the fungus in the ground works with the roots, and that's basically how the plant gets a lot of its water and nutrients, is making a nice little culture in the ground. So let me just go ahead and backfill this, and once again, I'm going to put a little bit on top. All right, and get these out of the way. All right, and then I'm going to just backfill this nicely. Kind of give it a little bit of, I'll push it down a little bit just to make sure it's nice and firm. And then I'm going to just cover it back up with some of this leaf mulch. And this leaf mulch, I basically just ran it over my lawnmower quite a few times. It's leaves that I have in my yard. I don't really get rid of them. I either use it for my compost, which I'll make another video about down the road, or I use it in this instance where I use it as kind of like a covering, like a mulch over the ground, for weed control. So I will get this irrigation line in the proper position once I get everything planted. Right now I just have it stapled in. These are staples. Like I said, I use these every year, the same ones. So it's a little bit of upfront cost and time, but it's worth it though, because it takes a lot of time to come out and water all your plants too. And those days you just don't feel like coming out, or you're not feeling well, or you want to go to the beach, that's the days that you could have a problem with your plant that you didn't go out and water because it's getting too hot. So I'm going to move on, and I'm going to plant the rest of these, and then we'll move to the next row. So I'm going to basically put this one right here. This is so relaxing. I enjoy this so much. Oh, another worm. Wow. A lot of worms. It's good slime. Good soil. Put a little bit of that. Gonna take off this. I'm gonna take off these two here. Yeah. Oh, another little worm. Interesting. This is a lot of fun. Get a little bit more in there. Worms are going to be happy now. Get some new plants to take care of. You chickens are so interested in what I'm doing. Crack me up. Crack me up. I know you probably think it's a snack, right? Oops. Didn't do that, did I? Right. Take this big stone out of the way. You know what you want. You want a worm. That's what you want. That's a wrap. All right, I'm going to start with the second row now. And man, look at this nice root system on this thing. This thing's prime, ready to go. It's already got some fruit on there. I think this is going to be a winner. All right, so once again, going to line it up with an emitter right here. Oh, looks like I hit a rock. In the world. It's got a big rock or something. What in the world? Give me a break. Something buried right here. All right, to be continued. Wow, look at that rock. That's no good. All right, so back to what we were talking about, how this has such a nice root system. And I dug a big boulder out of the ground. And if this root system is trying to grow and it hit that boulder, the plant wouldn't do good. And I'll be like thinking there's something wrong with the plant. But all along is the roots were being affected by what was in the ground. So that's why it's important to take your time and do this by hand. So I'm going to take off these two bottom branches and go ahead and put some fertilizer in here. Drop some regular soil. And prepare for your hands to get all dirty, because that does happen, which is okay. All right. Put a little extras. All right, so let me get this in here, nice in the hole. I'm so glad that I hit that rock instead of not, because I would have been really thinking there's something wrong with this tomato plant. Like, why is this thing not growing big? And it would have been because of that. Because the roots need to be able to shoot. Like tomato plants, their root systems are big. The tomato plants' root systems will go really far, like, a lot farther than you think. So when you water a plant, especially when you water a tomato plant, most people just water at the base. That's why I'll put in extra drip lines, and I don't mind the extra holes, because I know that in time that this plant will shoot way out to here and also way out to here. So everything gets kind of watered. All right, I'm going to move on to the other three. So this is, like I said, a Ramapo. This is also a slicer, a nice, beautiful tomato. And the other ones are going to be Romas, the other three. All right, let's move on. So Roma tomatoes are absolutely perfect for making homemade tomato sauce. They're very low in water content, extremely high in flavor. You want to make sure when you do pick them, they're fully ripe. They're that deep red color. And when you go to squeeze them, they should be slightly soft. That means they're ready to go. And you just have to harvest between 4 pounds and 5 pounds to make a nice big pot of sauce, which you could jar later on. All you have to do is just bring them inside and rinse them off. Take the cores out. Do yourself a favor and stop by your supermarket and buy yourself a core for $5. And then take a knife, put a little X at the very bottom. And then what you want to do is boil some water, throw them in the water and blanch them for like 45 seconds. Take them out, throw them in an ice bath, and then the skin should just literally fall right off. And then you just take that pot and you add some olive oil to it, dice up those tomatoes, throw them right into the pot, get them cooking for 30 to 45 minutes. And then from that point on, add like 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, mince it up, throw a nice chopped onion, some more olive oil to add more silkiness to the actual sauce itself, a little salt and pepper to taste. And then, cook it for another like 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and then throw a handful of fresh basil in. Bam, you got yourself a beautiful sauce. If you like it really thin, just throw it in an immersion blender or a food processor, and there you go. Our Florida weave trellis, I like to call it the New Jersey trellis. Some people call it Florida weave. Gonna tie a nice knot here. All right, so here is a recap of our trellis system. Basically, you got our 3 Roma tomatoes all sitting pretty on that trellis system. Our New Jersey trellis system. And then we got our Ramapo, which is a Jersey tomato. That one still needs another, I'd say about a week. Also with the Hosinators, they probably need about another week. With all this rain that we've been getting, it's raining like a lot, and I just fertilized them, so I expect them to probably pop up anytime now. But these Roma tomatoes are going to make some nice tomato sauce. Look at those ones already. Those things are ready to produce. Get some nice flowers on there, ready to go get some fruit going. And let's see, this last one needs to catch up. I do see some fruiting. Oops, I don't know if you can see that. Some fruiting flowers right there. And our Ramapo, nice slicer. Oh, this actually has a tomato on it already. So this one's kind of ready to go too. And like I said, our Hosinators, they'll be ready to go. They like to take their time, but when they go, they really produce. Okay, even though it's been raining like crazy, I'm still gonna water these babies in. This is always my favorite part, in a sense, because it's like a sign of completion. Water these in the ground, nice healthy drink. Don't mind me, I'm squeezing in here around the other tomatoes so I don't step on them. It's good too to give them a good drink, because it kind of gets that that fertilizer kind of kicking. Same thing here. Later on down the road, I'll get some more. I'm going to put some more mulch down. Okay, and just kind of reset and go around this pole here. Yeah, so I'll put some more mulch down. See how it absorbs right down into the mulch really nice. Keeps it nice and definitely moist. All right, that's a wrap. And there you have it. You learn how to make some fresh tomato sauce straight out of your garden. And if you look at these pictures, these are all my pictures that I took from the last couple of years. These tomatoes are awesome. And I had such a great time making this video for you. I hope you enjoyed it yourself. If you want to learn some more garden tips, make sure you subscribe. And also I'm going to be throwing out some recipes. So if you want to learn some more about some kitchen goodness, make sure you subscribe as well for that. Put some comments below, some recipes you'd like to see, and thanks for watching, and happy cooking, and let's get gardening.